Hello you, it's Josh here, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another tutorial. Today we are going to be showing you how to build some better roads in Bloxburg because, well, this video first of all was recorded months ago, but then I decided to redo it because, I don't know, I'm sick of just editing old videos, it's boring and they're shit. And still people ask me sometimes on like private messages how I build roads and that sort of thingy. Because like it's kind of a general thing that a lot of people want to know how to do in case you're doing cities or like some sort of hotel or resort or even like a shopping center or something like that which needs a car park. People always ask me how to do that sort of thingy. So today I'm going to be showing you many different ways, like from just a normal sort of path to a historical road or even just a little dirt path. So I think without further ado, we should actually get on. So the first thing we're going to look at is just a normal path right here, because it's pretty basic. I mean, this is the one that you'll probably use the most here, because it's small and it works great and everything like that. Now, the easy way to build this basically is you just have a 3 wide thingy like this. Just if it's on a straight, just 3 wide like that, easy peasy. Then you have a 1 wide, a 1 wide. Of course, this can go as long as you want, depending on what road you want. And then this is just literally coloured, this black and concrete, and this one is coloured medium stone grey and concrete. Now, as well as that, if it comes up to the edge of the plot, what I like to do here is use some dirt piles and colour them the same colour as the road, because as you can see from like here, it kind of blends it in a bit better, and it doesn't just look like a weird hard line there. Now, obviously, you want to be able to do corners. Now, this pretty much is how you do these corners and these corners. These you can't really do corners with. There's not really enough room in a plot to do corners in this, so I didn't really include them because literally the only place that this would be useful is like a central road going down the middle of like a city or something. Except from that, you can't fit it in the plot without, you know, making it too big. But on a corner, literally all you do, you just have 1 diagonal here and as many as you want this way. And then over here on the same block, you go 2, like a 1 by 2 like this. Then a diagonal, then another 1 by 2 like that. And then of course, you get a straight or whatever you want like that. And another thing that you might want to know is how to do an S-bend. So this is simple as well. It's just 2 up like that, then a 1, then a 2. And on the opposite side, you just go out by 1, and then a 2, then a 1, then a 2. And then it should look a little bit like this, obviously, right here. And an intersection is pretty self-explanatory. You could just have a 3, you just have you can have 3 roads or 4 roads. And you just need to do it in like a push shape like this, just having the paths like this. Now, something else that you're going to see through pretty much all of them, because it is quite useful, is that you can make little sidewalks using institutional white here. And you can either have it as plastic, which is what I normally do, but you can also have it as concrete if you want it to be a bit more realistic. But I think that looks a bit grimy, so I use that because it looks a bit more brighter and cleaner and nicer. Now, on the themes of normal roads, I guess we'll go on to this one next, which is kind of like a main road, I guess. I don't know. Now, there's 2 different themes that we've got here. It's obviously quite simple. You've got 2 3-laned roads with 1 concrete on either side, and then you've got some trees or bushes. You could even have a path going down the middle, but I feel like this looks much more pretty. Now, so how does this work here? So, you have your oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention on these. I don't know why, but if you just use a plain short fence with some concrete and outline all of the roads with it, that's how I do that. I should have probably mentioned that a bit earlier. But basically the way that I do this is I just have, like I said, a sidewalk, 3 wide roads, and then I just use that concrete small fence here to do this one, as well with a rough cypress, and then next to that I chuck in one of those and one of those, and then I just do that every 2, as you can see right there. Now, something else to note with these bigger roads is because they are much bigger, you might want to add some street lights. With these ones, you could add street lights, but they don't look as good, so it's a bit harder to do. But on these roads, it looks much better with street lights. It looks unrealistic with our big street lights on it. And also at crosswalks, you want to be able to put in your crosswalk signs. And, for example, right here, I did this crosswalk between 3. If you just use 2 carpets instead of 1 and move them into this central one like this, like that, then you can make a slightly bigger crosswalk, which makes a bit more sense, I guess. As well with obviously a bit of a concrete middle thingy here. Now for the other theme for this one, you've obviously got these hedges going around like this. Again, it's as long as you really want it to be. Oh yeah, and I also should have probably mentioned for both of these, it's got a floor, and the floor, you're using dirt brown and slate. I think there, yep, slate. Of course you could use grass if you wanted, but I feel like it's a bit too much green if it's grass, and it doesn't look very realistic. But what we do here is we do the exact same thing as we did last time over here. We just put a hedge around it. So to be honest, you could probably do without putting these bushes in here, but it still looks alright, and yeah, whatever. And again, you use your street lights and crosswalks or whatever you want. And for a crossroad for this one, it's a little more difficult because obviously you've got a much bigger road. And it's extremely difficult because, say you wanted to have a 2-lane going like this, but then you wanted to have a 1-lane intersection like this. That makes it much harder. By the way, this is pretty much a 1-way road, but you can have 2-way on it. Obviously, it's only wide enough for 1 car. If I can show you here, actually I won't be able to because I haven't got enough money, but you still get the point. All you've got to pretty much do in that situation is like just have the sidewalk go like this instead, and have like it go like this, if you know what I mean. And just do only 1 lane, and also probably don't use traffic lights, because if you use traffic lights then it makes it look like it's a 1-way road, unless you do want it to be a 1-way road. But except from that, the way that we basically do this is this middle part here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have a 7x7 black area in the middle here. Then you have a 3x2 crosswalk, 3x2 crosswalk, 3x2 crosswalk, 3x2 crosswalk, 3x2 crosswalk, 3x2 crosswalk. And then obviously you can extend these roads on as far as you want, but you can then also use your bathroom mats here to make these little crosswalks. And again, you can make these a little bit thicker like I showed you over here, but for the intersections I think it looks fine to only do it this wide. It depends on what you really feel like or want. And obviously if you've got a big intersection, use your traffic lights and you just chuck them in like this. Now personally, I drive on the left in the UK, but these traffic lights, if you put them on the left, it's got to go like this, which makes no sense. So basically, you're forced to use the US system of how to actually drive in this game. You can't use a left hand, but you know, whatever. Now next, I reckon we get onto another sort of similar normal road, but also slightly different at the same time. This is like a historical road. So if you're building something like a castle or a historical town or something that's old and you want it to and you don't want like a new brand tarmac road to ruin that. For example, a place like York in the UK or something like that still has a lot of these sort of roads, and you can pretty much find them anywhere around there, literally like anywhere. In the historical part of it, they're all over the place, these thin cobbled roads, and you know, it's pretty standard stuff. Now the way that we build these are pretty simple. Again, you just do a 3 wide like this, and this is coloured medium stone grey, as you can see, and the asphalt shingles, because it kind of looks, because like if you use bricks, as you can see right here, it doesn't quite look right, but this kind of looks more like the bricks that you put in the like more like the bricked roads that they have, which is weird, but you know, whatever. And something else I showed off right here is that you could do grate. Now you could do this however you want, really. In this instance, I showed you here, you can use a bathroom mat and just lay it across the edge like this, and then give it like a black and stripy, the vertical stripes like this. Or if you want a thinner one, because obviously this sticks out quite a lot, you've got to go for a longer one though, like this, and you could shove it all the way into there, and then you just give that the exact same paint as I've just shown you right there. So if you are wanting to have some sort of grates or make it look realistic like that, you can also add those in. And obviously you can have your sidewalks or anything like that. Sidewalks don't really change on this sort of road because there's not really any special way to do sidewalks. They're all the same, at least in the UK. I don't know how the sidewalks work in the US, but we don't have stuff like jaywalking, so we could just cross without a crossing, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, except from that, we're now going to be getting onto some less normal roads, I guess, here. Here, what we've got is a bit of a dirt path. Now, this is useful for something like a forest or something. If you want to have, like, a forest resort or something like that, this can be quite useful to help you build that sort of theme into it. And as you can see right there, it's literally just about clicking random places. Like, you know, you don't want this to be like a straight line. I mean, you could, but having this is a bit boring, isn't it? But obviously, you can also do this, and it looks absolutely fine. You just do something like that. But if you want to have it a bit more organic, say it's going through a forest or something like a forest walk, or like camping or something, you can have these dirt roads almost. Or even if you wanted to have that's more like a dirt path, but if you want a dirt road, you can have something like this, because then it looks like a vehicle's been driving across it. Or even maybe something like this would be a bit better, because then it's a bit closer together. And that kind of looks like a car's been driving along the grass or something like that. Or if you want more of a path, you could have something like this. And something that I've shown you right here is break it with a bit of grass sometimes, because not everyone walks in a straight line when they're walking around the forest. And most dirt paths are formed because of people are walking around the forest. That's just how they are made, I guess. And the reason why these dirt tracks are here is probably because a car's been driving through and it's ruined the grass. So that's something that you've got to think about, is you've got to make it flow almost and make it organic. You can't have it all just uniform, although you can, obviously. It wouldn't look as good. And even for something like this, where I've done it straight, you can even like make it go out a couple times. Like they've had to, like, you know, the car's swayed a little bit or something like that, or anything like that, you know. And then obviously you could do the same thing over here. Let me just do this quickly so I can give you an example. There you go. Look, you can have something like that, because maybe there's a rock here or something like that. You need to get creative with this sort of thing, because it's a lot of terraforming, and personally I'm not great at terraforming. I mean, I can do it, but I'm not great at it. But as you can see right here, adding like some rocks and stuff here to show why they've, you know, kind of diverted around there, kind of gives it a bit of a story, doesn't it? And you could even add some more rocks around here, and then layer up some bushes and stuff like that in here, and you know, you get the point. You can make it, you can like force the path through. And as you can see here, sorry about that, I just had a notification on Snapchat. But as you can see here, as I build up a bit of a blockage along the road, it seems like they've been forced through a certain way, which is why you may have a bit of a bend in the road or something like that. So you need to get creative with your designing with that, but it looks quite decent, I guess, if you can get something that works properly. Next then, we've got a car park. Well, actually, last, we've got a car park here. Now, this is quite simple, obviously. All you need to do is have a 3x2 space for your cars, and then outline it with your concrete. And then what you can also have at the end of like a thingy, if say you've got a road right here, you could have a little bit of a break in the road and add a little tree like this. And like I said before, just use these two to kind of make it all together. You could even add some of these in, because I think when I made this tutorial, these weren't even in the game. And add some rocks. So whatever you want to do, literally, you can do whatever you want as long as it looks good, I guess. And in terms of this, you could, if you've got a road coming up to it, you just need to have a 3 by how long. You need just to have a 3 wide road and have it as long as you want, obviously. And one little bonus thingy, because this here is going to be a tutorial at some point on how to build this. But until then, I just want to show you, if you're doing a driveway, it's pretty simple. You could just have some concrete, grey, what's it called? Medium stone grey concrete like this, and just have it go up to the edge. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Or you can even have something like this, I guess. But the only problem is this obviously doesn't quite match with the sidewalk or that sort of figure, so it doesn't look quite as good. But be looking out for this tutorial. Maybe next week or maybe the week after, depending on how everything works out. But I hope this tutorial has helped you. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like. It's everyone that you can subscribe. It would really help it as well. It's like there's my other channels that you can subscribe to, I guess, isn't there? And except from that, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Check out my other links, or you will be eaten. I don't know. And goodbye.